One day, you'll look around and realize that most of the people you thought would be in your life forever are gone. Some stopped calling, some slowly disappeared, some became strangers, and some betrayed you in ways you never expected. At first, it feels painful. You wonder what happened. You wonder what you did wrong. You wonder why people change. But then you discover something most adults eventually learn. Friendship is not as simple as we were taught. Not everyone who laughs with you is your friend. Not everyone who supports you wants the best for you. And not everyone who leaves was meant to stay. The truth is that friendship follows rules most people never understand until it's too late. Today, we're going to talk about 10 brutal truths about friendship. Some of these truths may hurt. Some may explain things you've experienced for years, and one of them might completely change the way you see the people around you. Let's begin. The first brutal truth is this. Most friendships are built on proximity, not destiny. Think about your closest friends from school, your closest coworkers, your closest neighbors. Why did you become friends? In many cases, it wasn't because you were soulmates. It was because life placed you in the same environment. You saw each other every day. You shared experiences. You spent time together. Psychologists call this the proximity effect. The more often we see someone, the more likely we are to like them. That's why many friendships feel permanent. But when the environment changes, the friendship often changes too. People move away, change jobs, start families, and suddenly, the friendship that felt unbreakable begins to fade. Not because anyone is evil, because circumstances changed. The second brutal truth is that people change, and they change faster than friendships do. At 20, you may want one thing. At 30, something completely different. Your goals change. Your values change. Your priorities change. Sometimes you grow in different directions from the people you once loved. And that's painful because nobody did anything wrong. You simply became different people. Many friendships don't end because of betrayal. They end because of evolution. The third brutal truth is one that many people don't want to hear. Not everyone wants you to become more successful than they are. People often celebrate your success until your success begins to highlight their lack of progress. As long as you're both struggling together, everything feels comfortable. But when one person starts growing faster, tension sometimes appears. Not because your friend hates you, but because your growth forces them to confront their own choices. Human beings naturally compare themselves to others, and comparison can create resentment. This doesn't mean you should stop growing. It means you should understand human nature. The fourth brutal truth is that many people are loyal to what you provide, not who you are. That sounds harsh, but think carefully. How many relationships survive when the benefits disappear? When you have money, people call. When you have opportunities, people show up. When you're useful, you're remembered. Then life becomes difficult. You lose something. You need help yourself. And suddenly many people disappear. That's when you discover who truly values you. Real friendship survives when there's nothing to gain. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most people spend years trying to figure out who their real friends are. But the answer is usually invisible until life gets difficult. Success reveals some people. Failure reveals everyone. The fifth brutal truth is that time exposes everything. People can pretend for months, sometimes even years, but time reveals character. Time reveals intentions. Time reveals priorities. Eventually, everyone shows you who they are. The friend who only calls when they need something. The friend who disappears during difficult times. The friend who stays loyal through every storm. Time exposes them all, which is why patience is one of the greatest friendship tests. Don't rush to trust people. Let time do the work. The sixth brutal truth is that some friendships were never meant to last forever. This is one of the hardest lessons in adulthood. We assume that every meaningful relationship should last a lifetime. But life doesn't work that way. Some people enter your life for a season. Some enter for a lesson. Some enter to help you become who you're meant to be. And then they leave. That doesn't mean the friendship failed. It means its purpose was completed. Think about the people who changed your life. Some of them are probably no longer around, yet their impact remains. Not every friendship is supposed to last forever. Some are only meant to last long enough to teach you something important. The seventh brutal truth is that success often shrinks your circle. Many people imagine success will attract more friends. Sometimes the opposite happens. As you become more focused, you have less time. As you become more ambitious, your priorities shift. As you become more disciplined, Some people feel uncomfortable around you. The gap grows. Conversation change. Interests change. Lifestyles change. And gradually, your circle becomes smaller. But smaller doesn't always mean worse. A small circle of genuine people is worth more than a large crowd of temporary companions. By now, you may be thinking, that's depressing. But actually, it's liberating. Because once you stop expecting every friendship to last forever, you stop feeling betrayed every time someone leaves. The eighth brutal truth is that people remember feelings more than facts. This is something psychology has shown repeatedly. People don't always remember exactly what happened. They remember how they felt. You might help someone 100 times, then disappoint them once, and that disappointment becomes the strongest memory. It's frustrating, but it's human nature. That's why emotional intelligence matters. Because relationships are built as much on feelings as they are on actions. Whether we like it or not, emotions shape memory. The ninth brutal truth is that respect matters more than affection. Many people spend their lives trying to be liked, trying to avoid conflict, trying to keep everyone happy. But friendships built only on affection often become unhealthy. Without respect, people begin taking each other for granted. Without respect, boundaries disappear. Without respect, resentment grows. A true friend doesn't just like you. They respect you. They respect your time, your values, your boundaries, your growth, and respect often lasts longer than simple affection. The 10th and final brutal truth is perhaps the most important. The strongest friendships survive silence. Insecure friendships require constant maintenance, constant messaging, constant reassurance, constant proof. But genuine friendship is different. Months can pass. Sometimes years. Life gets busy. Responsibilities increase. People move. People change. Yet when you reconnect, nothing important has been lost. The connection remains. The trust remains. The respect remains. That's real friendship. Not constant communication, but lasting connection. Now, let me ask you something. How many friendships are you holding on to simply because you're afraid to let go? How many people are you calling friends simply because they were once important? Sometimes maturity means accepting reality. Not everyone who starts the journey with you will finish it with you. And that's okay. Because friendship isn't about keeping everyone forever. It's about appreciating people while they're part of your story. One of the most painful mistakes people make is expecting permanence from temporary people. When those people leave, they feel betrayed. But maybe those people were never meant to stay forever. Maybe they were only meant to help you through one chapter. The truth is that friendship becomes easier when you stop demanding forever, when you stop expecting perfection, when you stop trying to force people to remain who they used to be. People change, life changes, relationships change. That's reality. And accepting reality is the beginning of wisdom. If you've ever lost a friend you thought would be in your life forever, leave a comment. I understand now, not because you're bitter, not because you're angry, but because you finally learned that friendship isn't about who stays forever. It's about who was real while they were there. One of the hardest parts of growing up is realizing that some people were only meant to walk with you for a chapter, not the whole book. And that's okay, because every friendship teaches something. Some teach loyalty, some teach trust, some teach disappointment, some teach strength. And sometimes the people who hurt you the most teach you the lessons you'll never forget. Don't be angry when people leave. Be grateful for what they taught you before they did. Because friendship isn't measured by how long someone stayed. It's measured by whether they were genuine while they were there. Some people will stay for a season. Some will stay for a decade. A rare few will stay for life. Appreciate them all. Learn from them all. And never confuse permanence with value. Because sometimes the people who leave your life still leave behind lessons that stay forever.